Okay, there we go. What's up, my pawns? Welcome back to another gaming video. On HP Lovecraft or something like that. Those seem to be more games by this creator, possibly. But instead of Dagon is a faithful interactive adaptation of H.P. Lovecraft's work focused on story and atmosphere. You will not find difficult choices, action sequences, or inventory management here, and movement is limited to progression through the location along with the plot. Okay.
I am writing this under an appreciable mental strain, since by tonight I shall be no more.
It's voiced. Oh, I love this game already. Okay. Oh, wait. As to letters, my case is peaceful. I write such things exactly as easily and as rapidly as I would utter the same topic in... Okay, I'm not...
Penniless, and at the end of my supply of the drug which alone makes life endurable, I can bear the torture no longer, and shall cast myself from this garret window into the squalid street below.
Well, this is a cool game so far.
Do not think from my slavery to morphine that I am a weakling or a degenerate.
I do think it's cool that, like, I understand it just said that, but I kind of wish I got to look around a little bit more, you know what I mean? Like...
When you have read these hastily scrawled pages, you may guess, though never fully realize, why it is that I must have forgetfulness or death.
I'll give it a full shot. I looked up Dagon before this and everything. I'm interested in seeing what... Morphine, okay. I don't care. Well, I'm excited to see what we do with all this.
It was in one of the most open and least frequented parts of the broad Pacific that the packet of which I was supercargo fell a victim to the German Sea Raider.
Sea Raider? Is that like an actual boat? Is it that? Or is that our boat that got raided by the Sea Raider?
The Great War was then at its very beginning, and the ocean forces of the Hun had not completely sunk to their later degradation.
This is a while back ago. Yeah, no, I like this.
Our
it's
vessel
cool.
was made a legitimate prize, whilst we of her crew were treated with all the fairness and consideration due us as naval prisoners.
It's kind of like living a graphic novel. I really hope that's not story. If it is, I'm sorry, I just really
so liberal
cannot
indeed
read.
Was the discipline of our captors that 5 days after we were taken, I managed to escape alone in a small boat with water and provisions for a good length of time.
Yeah, of course, a good length of time. You know, one bag. Oh. That is not a good length of time, bro. Do you understand how much water a human needs, G? I hope you have some other provisions.
When I finally found myself adrift and free, I had but little idea of my surroundings.
Yeah, you still didn't grab any more water. We're kinda screwed, bro. You kinda cooked us.
Never a competent navigator, I could only guess vaguely by the sun and stars that I was somewhat south of the equator. Of the longitude, I knew nothing, and no island or coastline was in sight.
Wait, why were you a seaman if you weren't ever a competent navigator? What was your job, bro? What does it want me to click exactly? That? All the way over there?
The weather kept fair, and for uncounted days I drifted aimlessly beneath the scorching sun, waiting either for some passing ship or to be cast on the shores of some habitable land.
Okay, uninhabitable land. I respect that. Oh, water. Guess I'm thirsty. Time to take a drink.
But neither
Thirsty
ship
for water
nor
and for
land
girl?
appeared, and I
Thirsty for
began to
some time with
despair in
another
my
person?
solitude upon the heaving vastness of unbroken blue.
No, of course, of course.
The change happened whilst I slept.
Oh no.
Its details I shall never know. For my
great.
slumber, though troubled and dream-infested, was continuous.
Oh, that thing's not good looking. Oh, what happened to the ocean, bruh? I don't want to click that.
When at last I awoke, it was to discover myself half sucked into a slimy expanse of hellish black mire, which extended about me in monotonous undulations as far as I could see.
Is it dead or alive? Is it? No, because there's its tentacles, so that can't be its butt. Why are there so many tentacles?
And in which my boat lay grounded some distance away.
I am not an enemy girl. Oh, I do
Though
not
one
deserve
might well
this.
imagine that my first sensation would be of wonder at so prodigious and unexpected a transformation of scenery, I was in reality more horrified than astonished.
No dip, bruh. I would be too.
For there was in the air, and in the rotting soil, a sinister quality which chilled me to the very core. The region was putrid with the carcasses of decaying fish, and of other, less describable things which I saw protruding from the nasty mud of the unending plain.
Brother, just octopus. What the frick do you mean protruding? It looks like squid and octopus. That's about it.
Perhaps I should not hope to convey in mere words the unutterable hideousness that can dwell in absolute silence and barren immensity.
Oh, trust me, bro. I'm always talking. I understand what it's like when you
There was
stop
nothing
talking.
within hearing,
Ooh, it's
and
kinda...
nothing in sight, save a vast reach of black slime. Yet the very completeness of the stillness and the homogeneity of the landscape oppressed me with a nauseating fear.
I'd bet.
The sun was blazing down from a sky which seemed to me almost black in its cloudless cruelty, as though reflecting the inky marsh beneath my feet.
Oh, wait, why is it day, night, day, night? Oh, okay. This is a cool game! I wish there was more to do, vaguely, instead of, like, vibing in a graphic novel, but you know what? It's fine. It's cool. I get to my boat now. Whatever floats your boat.
As I crawled into the stranded boat, I realized that only one theory could explain my position.
That you're so bad at navigating that you got lost in hell? I don't know, bro. What?
Through some unprecedented volcanic upheaval, a portion of the ocean floor must have been thrown to the surface, exposing regions for which innumerable millions of years had lain hidden under unfathomable watery depths.
And you just happened to be a part of that.
So great was the extent of the new land which had risen beneath me that I could not detect the faintest noise of the surging ocean, straining my ears as I might.
Or you're just lost in hell.
Nor were there any seafowl to prey upon the dead things.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't really feel like you're very, like, in reality still, bud. There would be birds here.
For several hours I sat thinking or brooding in the boat, which lay upon its side and afforded a slight shade as the sun moved across the heavens.
Of course, no.
As the day progressed, the ground lost some of its stickiness and seemed likely to dry sufficiently for traveling purposes in a short time.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
That night I slept but little, and the next day I made for myself a pack containing food and water, preparatory to an overland journey in search of the vanished sea and possible rescue.
I mean, realistically, depending on what part of the world you're in, it could start raining at any point in time, and then you're just... well... done for, bro.
On the third morning, I found the soil dry enough to walk upon with ease.
What is that?
The odor of the fish was maddening, but I was too much concerned with graver things to mind so slight an evil, and set out boldly for an unknown goal.
You just said what you were going out for. What do you mean an unknown goal, Chief?
All day I forged steadily westward, guided by a faraway hummock which rose higher than any other elevation on
What
the
are
rolling
those?
desert.
Oh, guess we're walking to that mountain now, feeling like the Crudes. Are these like squids of a kind, or?
That night I encamped, and on the following day still travelled toward the hummock, though that object seemed scarcely nearer than when I had first espied it.
Gosh. Also, that mountain looks much closer. I mean, realistically, in your situation where you're starving and dehydration's kicking in, I can understand why you'd say that. But why the heck would you set up camp here? Bro, these tentacles are bigger than any natural animals. You were not on Earth, pal.
By the fourth evening, I attained the base of the mound, which turned out to be much higher than it had appeared from a distance.
Wow, I don't guess that, bro.
An intervening valley setting it out in sharper relief from the general surface. Too weary to ascend, I slept in the shadow of the hill.
Oh no.
I know not why my dreams were so wild that night, but ere the waning and fantastically gibbous moon had risen far above the eastern plain,
Okay.
I was awake in a cold perspiration, determined to sleep no more. Such visions as I had experienced were too much for me to endure again.
Why aren't you looking at the mountain,
And in the
pal?
glow of the moon I saw how unwise I had been to travel by day. Without the glare of the parching sun, my journey would have cost me less energy.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Indeed, I now felt quite able to perform the ascent which had deterred me at sunset. Picking up my pack, I started for the crest of the eminence.
Yeah, but this also means if you're wrong, you're gonna get stuck on the mountain. Sorry, the what? Oh, you want me to grab the
I have
pack.
said that the unbroken monotony of the rolling plain was a source of vague horror to me.
Yeah. So this is more of a surreal horror kind of vibe, you know what I mean, guys? Like, it's not a thriller, and it's not slasher-like horror, and it's not jump scare, and it's not psychological. This is more of
But
a
I think
surreal
my horror was greater when I gained the summit of the mound and looked down the other side into an immeasurable pit or canyon.
Because so far it's just
Whose
an
black
area.
recesses the moon had not yet soared high enough to illumine. I felt myself on the edge of the world,
That's cool.
peering over the rim into a fathomless chaos of eternal night.
Oh. Yeah, that
Through
doesn't
my
look too
terror ran curious reminiscences of Paradise Lost, and of Satan's hideous climb through the unfashioned realms of darkness.
good. I mean, if you
As
have a
the moon
bungee cord.
climbed higher in the sky, I began to see that the slopes of the valley were not quite so perpendicular as I had imagined.
Well, that's probably inconvenient.
Ledges and outcroppings of rock afforded fairly easy footholds for a descent, whilst after a
Oh.
drop of only a few hundred feet, the declivity became very gradual.
Sorry, no. That's very convenient. Yeah. Also, why does this mountain look like it's made of the same stuff as the ground was?
Urged on by an impulse which I cannot definitely analyze, I scrambled with difficulty down the rock, gazing into the Stygian deeps. where no light had yet penetrated. All at once, my attention was captured by a vast and singular object on the opposite slope, which rose steeply about 100 yards ahead of me.
Look at that!
An object that gleamed whitely in the newly bestowed rays of the ascending moon.
Bruh, it's a pillar.
That it was merely a gigantic piece of stone, I soon assured myself.
What did you think it was?
But I was conscious of a distinct
Odenheim?
impression that its contour and position were not altogether the work of nature. A closer scrutiny filled me with sensations I cannot express.
Yeah? Bro, you
For
act like
despite
you're
its
about to walk
enormous
up on...
magnitude and its position in an abyss which had yawned at the bottom of the sea since the world was young,
You act like you're about to walk upon an eldritch demon. Like, you're not
I
a wall.
perceived beyond a doubt that the strange object was a well-shaped monolith,
Oh my gosh. Bro, you're not
whose
even...
massive bulk had known the workmanship and perhaps the worship of living and thinking creatures.
You say in vain hopes into a man
Dazed and
starving on the
frightened,
sea.
yet not without a certain thrill of the scientist's or archaeologist's delight, I examined my surroundings more closely.
Oh, you took 12 steps forward, bro. That's the closest you'll ever get nowadays.
Now near the zenith, shone weirdly and vividly above the towering steeps that hemmed in the chasm, and revealed the fact that a far-flung body of water flowed at the bottom, winding out of sight in both directions and almost lapping my feet as I stood on the slope.
Well, that's a good sign.
Across the chasm, the wavelets washed the base of the cyclopean monolith,
Hey buddy, why don't you take a drink, pal? It doesn't look like it's salt water,
on
so...
whose surface I could now trace both inscriptions and crude sculptures.
But it's not salt water, pal, so why don't you go take a drink?
The writing was in a system of
How did
hieroglyphics unknown to me and unlike anything I'd ever seen in books.
Oh, hey look, it looks like Cthulhu's head. Probably because it's a squid.
Consisting for the most part of conventionalized aquatic symbols such as fishes, eels, octopi, crustaceans, mollusks, whales, and the like.
Sure.
Several characters obviously represented marine things which are unknown to the modern world.
Sure. That's a stonefish, bro, I think. Yeah, those things.
But whose decomposing forms I had observed on the ocean-risen plain. It was the pictorial carving, however, that did most to hold me spellbound.
Yeah, probably, because this is like a whole total archaeological find.
Plainly visible across the intervening water, on account of their enormous size, were an array of bas-reliefs whose subjects would have excited the envy of a Doré. I think that these things were supposed to depict men, at least a certain sort of men, though the creatures were shown disporting like fishes in the waters of some marine grotto,
They're mermen
or
women.
paying homage at some monolithic shrine which appeared to be under the waves as well. Of
Probably.
their faces and forms I dare not speak in detail,
Why?
for the mere remembrance makes me grow faint.
Dang, bro.
Grotesque beyond the imagination of a Poe or a Bulwer,
Of course.
they were damnably human in general outline, despite webbed hands and feet, shockingly wide and flabby lips,
None of those things have what you described or look like
glassy,
each other.
bulging eyes, and other features less pleasant to recall. Curiously enough, they seem to have been chiseled badly out of proportion with their scenic background.
I mean, like, bro over there does... I'm pretty sure most of these bros don't even have lips.
For one of the creatures was shown in the act of killing a whale, represented as but little larger than himself. I
Yeah,
remarked, as
no
I
problem.
say, their grotesque but in
My
a
bad.
moment decided that they were merely the imaginary gods of some primitive fishing or seafaring tribe.
Yeah, of course.
Some tribe who
Some tribe whose last descendant had President Erie's before the first ancestor of the down of Netherlands man was born. Buddy, when these things are real, you're gonna look real screwed.
awestruck at this unexpected glimpse into a past beyond the conception of the most daring anthropologist. I stood musing whilst the moon cast queer reflections on the silent channel before me.
Sir,
Then, suddenly, I saw it.
I didn't.
With
Where we
only a
stand?
slight churning to mark its
Oh.
rise to the surface, the thing slid into view above the dark waters.
Oh!
Fiend-like and loathsome, it darted like a stupendous monster of nightmares to the monolith,
Oh no.
about which it flung its gigantic scaly arms, the while it bowed its hideous head and gave vent to certain measured sounds.
Why are you
Think I
blacking
went
out?
mad then.
You don't have time,
Of
bro.
my
Run.
frantic ascent of the slope and cliff, and of my delirious journey back to the stranded boat, I remember little.
No, don't run. Why are you going back to your boat, bruh? That's just a waste of
I
resources.
believe I sang a great deal, and laughed oddly when I was unable to sing.
Oh my gosh, cause I know it's like 3 clicks for me, but that's like 4 days for you.
I have indistinct recollections of a great storm sometime after I reached the boat.
Uh-huh. Oh, is it gonna flood
At
again?
any rate, I know that I heard pearls of thunder and other tones which nature utters only in her wildest
bruh.
moods.
Oh nah. Are you sure you're not getting hunted? Oh nah, buddy. That thing, that was a thick guy, bro. You're in trouble. Like he.
When I came out of the shadows, I was in a San Francisco hospital,
And it was all dream. You're just insane.
brought thither by the captain of the American ship which had picked up my boat in mid-ocean.
Yep, you just went insane.
In my delirium, I had said much, but found that my words had been given scant attention.
I bet.
Of any land upheaval in the Pacific, my rescuers knew nothing. Nor did I deem it necessary to insist upon a thing which I knew they could not believe.
Yeah, it's because do you believe it, pal? Just out of curiosity. Well, that.
Once I sought out a celebrated ethnologist and amused him with peculiar questions regarding the ancient Philistine legend of Dagon, the fish god.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely not. Where do you want me to click, pal? There we go.
But soon perceiving that he was hopelessly conventional, I did not press my inquiries.
I see that. So you went all the way across the room, huh? To check the time? Before going to the door?
It is at night, especially when the moon is gibbous and waning, that I see the thing.
I bet.
I tried morphine.
You're gonna get addicted to drugs, pal. That's not a
But the drug has given only transient surcease, and has drawn me into its clutches as a hopeless slave.
Yep, you got addicted.
So now, I am to end it all, having written a full account for the information or the contemptuous amusement of my fellow men.
Alright, so that's sad. Oh,
Often,
you're drinking poison.
I ask myself if it could not all have been a pure phantasm.
You couldn't have just tricked yourself
A
into
mere
believing
freak
it was
of
a joke?
fever, as I lay sun-stricken and raving in the open boat after my escape from the German man of war. This I ask myself, but ever does there come before me a hideously vivid vision in reply.
You literally, I bet you didn't see one thing.
I cannot think of the deep sea without shuddering at the nameless things that may at this very moment
There's
be crawling
literally
and floundering
nothing
on
there,
its
bro.
slimy bed, worshipping their ancient stone idols and carving their own detestable likenesses on submarine obelisks of water-soaked granite.
Okay,
I dream of a day when they may rise above the billows to drag down into their reeking talons the remnants of puny, war-exhausted mankind.
Okay, so maybe there's this tiny, small thing
Of a
swimming
day
around.
when the land shall sink and the dark ocean shall ascend amidst universal pandemonium.
There's a lot of them, actually. That's of course. Why are there so many? They're just fishy.
The end is near.
This is fishy. Oh nah.
I hear a noise at the door, as of some immense slippery body lumbering against it.
Your door is thick, bro. How heavy is that bedside table and how strong is that door? Bro, drink your poison. Where's your poison?
It shall not find me.
Yes, it will. Jump out the window. So, by it shall not find you.
That hand!
You mean you opened the door?
The window! The window!
That's what I said, bro! Wait, you're going insane, aren't you? You are on the 3rd floor. So, you just jumped to your death, pal, huh? That's really not effective. What are you doing? Bruh. At least if the fish god thing eats you alive, you won't.
And scary stories have been accompanying men for centuries. They have many faces and forms.
What is
But
happening?
what is their purpose? Why do we enjoy being afraid so much? During our therapy, I'll try to
Oh, I'm getting an ad for another game. How sweet of you. I'm not. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'll just exit. I missed so many of the letters. Okay, whatever. So I already gave my review on this game. I liked it. It was cool. It's kind of like reading through a graphic novel. I liked how it kind of just brought me places and I could click and experience. It's more of a surreal horror. I bet most Lovecraftian things are, despite me never playing them. This is the first one on my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. If y'all enjoyed, like and subscribe. Subscribe. This has been me, Ace the Game Master, signing off, and I cannot wait to play with y'all next time. Bye.